We're going to be talking about type 2 diabetes and neuropathy. So specifically, what is neuropathy to begin with? Well, neuropathy stems from your nerves, right? And the nerves themselves, when they're damaged or they're not working appropriately, will start to call out for help. And what are some of those things that it can call out for help for, right? It can be numbness, it can be tingling, it can be burning, it can be cold, or other type of sensitivities. So what are all these types of symptoms telling us? It's telling us that your nerve is damaged. And depending on the type of sensation of the damage of the nerve is going to indicate the symptoms you're going to experience. Now, commonly for most people, they're going to experience numbness and tingling. And why is that happening? What specifically is going on? Most people think it's because of circulation, that you're not getting enough blood supply to your nerves, and that's what damage is going on. Well, technically, that's partially true, but it's also, there's a deeper rooted issue that's really going on in there, which is what I want to discuss today. Now, most people are going to have this type of symptom in their feet, but it could happen in their hands, it could happen in the ankles, the calf, it can happen anywhere because nerves surround our entire body. It's how we can feel and touch and sense things on a regular basis. So what's specifically going on? Because this neuropathy is very dangerous, right? As things continue with neuropathy, what's the worst thing that could happen? An amputation, right? They can cut off your toe, they can cut off your foot, your leg, your hands, multiple areas, usually extremities and the legs are most common. So it's very dangerous because this is a complication and a progression of your diabetes. So let's go into this a little more in depth so we can talk about what specifically is going on here. Okay, so what specifically is going on here? Well, the first thing we have to understand is that what are your nerves made of? So what are nerves made of? They're made of cells. Why is this important? Because what we know about type 2 diabetes, diabetes is a cellular disease. And so if the nerves of the cells of your nerves are being damaged, what are you going to experience? You're going to experience neuropathy. Because every single tissue inside your body is made of cells. So we have to understand what specifically is going on in your body and what tissues are being impacted. This is why diabetes is such a scary condition, right? One individual could be brain problems like type 3 diabetes, Alzheimer's and dementia. Another one could be vision, heart, cardiovascular system, heart attacks and strokes, kidney disease, liver disease, circulation, and of course, neuropathy. So the same disease can impact multiple areas of the body. What other disease is like that? Well, maybe metastatic cancer, but again, that's a very small percentage of the population compared to type 2 diabetes, which is roughly about almost 15% these days. It's a very, very big issue we have going on here. So in regards to your nerve cells, what specifically is going on? Well, let's go over first what happens at the cellular level and why sugar and cells are so important. So if we scroll over here, we have a diagram. Essentially, this diagram is indicating and showing glucose in your bloodstream. This is your bloodstream right here. So when we draw this a little further, we can say, here's a cell, right? And the goal is to get the glucose into the cell. Because remember, glucose is fuel, right? And so if you have your car and there's a gas tank, that gas has to get to your engine. Your car doesn't drive. Well, the same thing happens in your body. If you can't get glucose into your cells, you can't function properly and you're not going to feel good. You're going to have fatigue or low energy. You're going to have brain fog. You're going to have weight gain. You're going to have low metabolism, problems with sleeping, etc. A multitude of issues and increasing risk of other diseases. This is the most basic, fundamental function that a human being should be able to do: to consume food, break it down into glucose, which is our fuel, and then get that glucose into the bloodstream, into our cells. So the goal is to bring this sugar down to your cell. But we have another person here. This is called insulin. Insulin is a key component to get the sugar into your cell. You see, insulin will come down with the sugar and it's going to attach itself to what's called an insulin receptor. Now, obviously, this is very basic biochemistry for those who have a lot more intelligence in this. Bear with me because not everyone has the expertise that we have. So let's make it very simple here. We want to have this insulin come down. Now think of insulin as a key, and this receptor is the lock. They need to be a perfect fit, right? So the insulin comes down, opens the door, and then opens the door in the cell, which then allows your sugar to enter the cell. This is basic function, guys. This is what's supposed to happen. Thank goodness we don't have to think about this. This happens on its own every single day, but this has to happen. This is normal function. Every single human being has the ability to do this from the time that they're born to the time that they die. Now, where does this problem come into play in regards to type 2 diabetes? Because what happens in this situation when you're a type 2 diabetic is that we now have an issue where something is blocking this from happening. So what this means is, as the insulin comes down, the receptor is blocked and the insulin cannot get into the receptor, or the key can enter the lock. Now, if you can't get your key into the lock of your door of your home, are you getting in your home? No, which means this door is not going to open and the sugar can't get into your cell, or the glucose can't get into your cell. So if it can't get into your cell, where's it going? Right back into your bloodstream. And what's it going to cause? Elevated glucose or blood sugar. So then you get an evaluation by your doctor, and your doctor says, you have high sugar. You have type 2 diabetes. So the question is this: is the elevated sugar the cause, or is the problem down here the cause? Obviously it's here, right? That's the issue. Because the problem is not your elevated sugar. The problem is the issue that's blocking the ability to get your door. So the question would be, if you have a bunch of people inside your house and you can't get in, is the people inside your house the problem, or is the inability to get in your home the problem? The inability to get in your home, obviously to go protect your house and get them out type of thing. This is no different. We have to understand, what is this? What is this guy? What is going on here that's causing this? And the crazy thing is, it can be multiple problems. There are hundreds of problems that could be going on. And commonly in our office, we typically see anywhere between 10 and 17 different problems that are driving this damage here. Now, if one cell is damaged, it's not a big deal. It's no big problem. You're not going to notice anything. But what happens when this becomes 1,000 cells, or 10,000 cells, or 100,000 cells? And it keeps going higher and higher. So the more cells that are damaged, the more sugar enters the bloodstream. The higher amounts of sugar, the worse you become. And that's why diabetes takes so long to develop. It can be 10, 20, 30 plus years of this cellular damage, 1 cell, 2 cell, 3 cell, 10, 20, 40, 50, etc. It takes decades, guys, for this to happen. Now, when you finally get diagnosed, this problem has already been bad for a long time, and it's already an issue. So if we go back to the scenario we're talking about here in regards to neuropathy, right, which is essentially the nerve cells being damaged, right? Nerve cells being damaged here. So this same thing, the same process, is the same thing that's going on. Imagine this is your nerve cell, and you had 1,000, 10,000, 100,000 of your nerve cells that are damaged. What are you going to experience? Neuropathy. And as it continues to get worse and worse and worse, it starts to go into the foot. Then it goes into your ankle, and into your leg, and into your calf, into your thigh muscles, and it continues to get worse. And as it progresses so much, what happens? You increase the risk of amputations. So the scenario here is not necessarily directly circulation, even though over time as this progresses and you increase the amount of sugar in your bloodstream, what's that going to cause the circulation? It's going to go down. It's going to cause your circulation to go down, which means it's going to impact your cells even further. It's perpetuating or making the disease worse and this problem worse as well. So the focus is this. You can do all the things out there for neuropathy. You can do nerve stimulation. You can do things like increasing blood flow. You can do stimulation plates like vibration plates, supplements that increase blood flow or increase B vitamins and stuff to your nerves and those things that your nerves need. Those are all important things to do. But if you don't fix this cellular disease process, all that stuff is not going to help. And it's only going to get worse with time. And you're going to get frustrated thinking, why is this getting worse? So again, to really go over this again, this whole neuropathy problem is due to the nerve cells being damaged. If you're only trying to focus on your sugars thinking it's going to fix this issue, it's not going to over time. You have to understand what problems you have that are contributing to this and affecting your cells getting damaged further and further. So this is where we come into play, because once you understand this and you're truly looking for a solution, then you can have comprehensive analysis to identify what problems are going on with you so that you can create the customized solution to fix this. And as we start fixing this, what happens? This goes away. And what happens when that goes away? Your sugars over time start to decrease. Because as you fix 1 cell, 2 cell, 10, 20, 50, 1,000, 10,000 cells, your sugars will start naturally going down. And what happens when your sugars start naturally going down with your medication? Is it going to go up or is it going to go down? It's going to go down. You start reducing medications, getting off medications, and that's how we truly reverse diabetes. It's very simple, right? The complications of it is, or the complexity of it is not knowing what this is, right? Not knowing this. Until you know this will get worse, and you get worse, your sugars get worse, you get sicker, and more complications develop. All right, I hope this was helpful for you guys today. Hope it was beneficial. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you comment below, and make sure you are on the lookout for our next video we're going to be releasing next week, and following our page because we're going to be gathering and sending you a lot of data here. Have a great day. We'll talk to you soon.